Here at Pulaski Academy High School with Hudson Henry, #1 tight end in the country for 2019. How you been, Hud?
I've been doing really good.
Good. Hey, we appreciate you taking the time. Let's just jump into it. A lot of recruiting questions for you, so catch me up on where you've been lately.
So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went to Stanford out in Palo Alto, and that was just an amazing visit. Stanford is just obviously a great school, great academics, great football program. It was just overall just a great visit.
You got any trips coming up this spring, this summer?
So I'm taking an official visit to Penn State June 1st weekend.
Okay.
And then after that, I'm kind of going to narrow down my schools, kind of make like a pro and con list, and really narrow down my schools about 3 or 4 or 5, you know, however many it may be, and be able to go back and visit those schools in the fall.
Sure. I know it's still April, May, whatever it might be now, but are there a few schools that kind of stick out? I know you said you're going to get to that and trim down your list this summer probably, but are there a few that you know right now they're probably going to be a finalist?
I'd have to say Stanford and Arkansas, just because Arkansas is, I just have really close ties to Arkansas, and Stanford is just a great school and has used the tight end very well, and Arkansas has used the tight end very well. But there's other schools that I'm kind of on the brink of, but I kind of need to think about it a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, obviously, you know, I covered the Razorbacks. A lot of people are curious what's going on there. So tell me about the contact you've had with them lately and kind of your impressions of Coach Morris.
I really like Coach Morris. He seems like he's a real stand-up guy, full of integrity and honor. And, you know, first and foremost, he's a man of God, and that's just what I'm about. It's just a man who's going to be able to lead me in my faith and be able to teach me in football and my faith. And obviously that really sticks out to me. It's just because that's the kind of guy I would want to lead me. Coach Lonnie, obviously, I have really close ties with him, and being able to get to know him better through this recruiting process and getting able to kind of help our interpersonal relationship has been really, really cool and really, really awesome. I've just really enjoyed getting to meet all these new coaches.
Yeah. Coach Lonnie is a guy that you've known since you were, I guess, like 11 when Hunter signed. What sticks out about him as a person, as a coach?
Man, I mean, he just has this way about him where he just draws people to him. He's just fun, and he's energetic, and he's really personal, and he really cares about who you are as a person, and he cares more about you as a person rather than how you're going to do well in football. I mean, like, he cares about how you're going to do in football, but he cares about who you are and the kind of man that you're going to be also. And I think that some coaches just care about how you play in football, and that's not what I'm about.
When you look at all these schools, I mean, you're a playmaker. You want to make plays and have the ball thrown your way. I thought about you in the spring game, Arkansas spring game. It looked like they were trying to get it to the tight ends. You saw CJ come up with a couple of touchdowns. Jeremy Patton almost had another down in the low red zone there. Did you take notice of that? And if so, what did that have an impact with you?
I mean, yes, I did watch the spring game. I got to see my brother play really well, and he did really, really good. But I think seeing all the tight ends do very well was really, really cool, because that's one of the things that's just worried me. It's just how Arkansas is going to use the tight ends, and they've told me that they are, but it's just better just to see it in person, and that kind of reiterates a little bit of you know, what they've told me, and I think seeing that really gave me some confidence.
You mentioned Hayden and the game he had there. I think a lot of people, I don't want to say surprised, but a lot of people were kind of, hey, who's this middle brother? Because in fairness, he was the lesser recruited, didn't have #1 ranking, you know what I mean? But you guys probably weren't surprised to see him do that, right? Oh
no, we were not. I mean, he's a hitter, and I mean, he's a playmaker, and he's going to do so many great things at Arkansas. I mean, he's always been kind of downplayed in his life, and you know, he's always worked harder. And I'd say Hayden is the hardest worker out of me and Hunter and him. I mean, he is just a hard-nosed guy, and he will fight his way to get to the top. And I believe, without a doubt, that he is going to be one of the greatest linebackers ever played at the University of Arkansas, just because that's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of things that he achieves to be.
He's got a chip on his shoulder, you know?
Yeah,
that's one thing I've always noticed. All three of you guys are great guys, but you can tell he wears it a little bit, you know? You can tell the guy that I think he likes to mix it up a little bit, and that brings me to my next question. Have you guys ever fought? Like, do the Henry boys ever mix it up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Growing up all the time. Me and Hayden especially used to get into it a lot. Sometimes it would end in fist fights. But, I mean, at the end, we always come together. But, oh, yeah, we've fought so many times. But, I mean, that's what you got to do as brothers, you know, because that only grows your bond stronger, in my opinion.
Now, you know, I've got to ask, who wins those fights? And, I mean, you're 6'5", 240 now?
230.
230? Surely you can take him, right?
Well, I mean, I'd say now probably for sure. But, I mean, growing up, we were always kind of eye to eye and pretty much the same size. He just had this meanness about him that he just wouldn't stop, and I didn't really want to hurt him growing up. But, you know, he didn't really care that much. So I'd say he won probably most of the fights growing up, but I'd say now I could for sure take him.
I like the confidence. Yeah. Pound for pound, who's the best athlete in the Henry family?
Definitely my sister. She for sure is.
Hope.
Oh yeah, she's had to deal with me, Hayden, and Hunter.
She
definitely is the toughest out of all of us, and definitely is the best athlete. She's a great volleyball player, and she's for sure is pound for pound the best athlete in the family.
Let's say you could have 3 people over for dinner. Who are you taking?
I'd have to say Jesus Christ, my great-grandfather, and Batman.
Interesting.
I feel like that'd be an interesting conversation between all 3 of those people.
It would. Okay, let's talk about Pulaski Academy. Obviously, 4 state championships in a row now. I think you're 27-1 over the last 2 years. Is there a favorite game or memory that sticks out to you?
I mean, I think last year's state championship was really, really fun in the sense that we got to win in the very end. During the game, it was not very fun because McClellan played phenomenal, and they're obviously a great team, and they're going to be a great team again this year. And they played their butts off the whole game, and we were actually losing. And we came back and won, and I think that made it really special, is that we came together as a team and kind of pushed through, you know, that kind of adversity. And because, I mean, we dealt with that stuff all throughout summer, and we pushed ourselves, I think, more than any other team in the state of Arkansas, because that's just the way Coach Kelly wants to be, is he just wants to be the best. And so I'd say that's my favorite game.
Yeah, that was a great game. Biggest surprise in the recruiting process that you found so far?
I'd say the biggest surprise that I've seen is just how some coaches, and not all of them, I think some of them just want kids because they have stars and they want to be the best recruiting class instead of getting those kids to their school to make them better human beings. And I think that's really kind of surprised me with some of the schools that I've talked to, is that's been kind of the feeling, is that they really just want me for, you know, who I am out of high school and how I play football, and not who I am as a person.
They're trying to win on paper, right? Essentially, instead of on the field.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
What's your, obviously you know the Bible pretty well. What's your go-to Bible verse?
Galatians 2:20.
And what is
For I've been crucified with Christ, and it's no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself up for me.
Impressive.
That's first.
Last one I've got for you, Hud. I want you to rank the top 3 tight ends in the NFL. No pressure.
Unbiased.
Unbiased.
I'd have to say Rob Gronkowski. I'd have to say Hunter Henry, just for no reason. And Travis Kelce, probably.
I like that group. I think, you know, I don't think people will look at that and say, you're only saying Hunter because he's your brother. He's really up there now.
He really is.
Statistically.
Yeah, he is. I just think, and kind of like Hayden, he's always been kind of downplayed his whole life too. And I think in the NFL. He hasn't really been given a chance. I mean, you could kind of see glimpses this year, but he hadn't really been given a big chance to kind of prove himself the whole season. But I'd say he's one of the top tier tight ends in all of the league right now, for sure.
Before I let you go, how's he doing with his injury? Is he going to be 100%?
Oh yeah, he's good right now. I think he was good back in January, February.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, he's been working out since then, and he's actually back in LA right now with camps and such. So
good stuff, man. You know how much we appreciate you.
Yeah.
You always give us time, and we can't thank you enough, buddy. We're super proud of you and happy for you. So keep doing what you're doing, okay?
Appreciate it.
All right.